we already talked about expectations for the Ravens-Chiefs in week 1, but Q, now let's talk about the execution specifically. Walk us through here of how the Chiefs really loaded the box and explain what that is.
Yeah, so when you talk about loading the box, you're looking at the tackle to tackle and pretty much to the linebackers, and that is your imaginary box. And when you load it up, coordinators, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, they'll say, hey, we got more guys in the box. That is to an advantage for us to stop what you're going to do offensively as far as running the ball. So if we stop you running the ball, that's going to be to our advantage. The week prior to this game in the divisional round, you saw the Buffalo Bills really take it to what the Kansas City Chiefs were trying to do defensively. I know that was something that where Lamar Jackson and company, they wanted to go ahead and say, hey, look, we're going to be effective running the ball. Go ahead and run it there. You can see where Patrick Ricard, he's coming over, and now there's an overload. Go ahead, pause it there again. You got 2 tight end look. You got your tackle, and so everything just says overload to this side, and we're going to just be dominant running the ball over to that side. Go ahead and press that play right there. What unfortunately happened, as you see this being an off-tackle look, pause it. Again, we didn't see that command. We're seeing, pancake pat on the ground. We're seeing, offensive linemen down, and there weren't a lot of opportunities to create spaces to crease the football. So if you're not creasing the football, you're not getting an opportunity to have a big run. Todd Monken, in his mind, from a playoff aspect of things, is saying, damn it, we can't run it. We're going to have to throw it. We're going to have to take advantage of the man-to-man on the outside.
Well, and also here, and you brought up earlier, Q, the Buffalo Bills game, the Bills, Chiefs. And one thing, Kevin, can you walk us through some stats of what happened in that Bills-Chiefs game here?
Yeah, the Chiefs' run defense was not great throughout the entire playoffs. And in the Buffalo game was a big conversation of, well, the Ravens should take advantage of that. In Buffalo, that divisional round game, the Bills had 39 carries. They attempted 39 runs, and they averaged 4.7 yards per attempt on those runs at 182 yards. And the Ravens obviously only have 12 total carries, 6 for their running backs. And I thought that was a big missed opportunity. And I know we'll see it here for what Buffalo actually did to take advantage of Kansas City's weakness.
So let's go to that real quickly. So Q, you just mentioned how the Chiefs were loading the box against the Ravens, but we're going to see in these highlights, the Chiefs are doing the same type of plan, but Buffalo is going to stay committed here.
Well, that's the key word. If you stay committed to the run, and you'll even see where you have your single receiver up top, but then at the bottom of the screen, we have what is called a bunch look, where you'll have a receiver at the line, and then you're going to have your outside receiver kind of bunched look with the tight end. That is saying, look, we can either run or pass out of this formation. This is something where Todd Monken, I know that they have this similar formation in their offense, but go ahead and run it, because you're going to see where both, whether it was Ty Johnson or if it was James Cook, they're both committed to the run. And Ty Johnson, in this particular case, I mean, he just said, okay, cool. We're going to get movement. Go ahead and pause it. That run before, you saw the offensive line get positive movement in a zone look type of a run scheme and was able to bounce it outside. This one here is where now it's like, okay, another box where it's a stacked look. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in the box. This is a more, hey, look, we're going to take away your run. Go ahead and run that. And you'll see Josh Allen just giving a little simple handoff, nice little cutback, but that's effective running the football when you're talking about in the playoffs. It controls the clock, controls the tempo of the game, and it gives you a physicality and a dominance, especially when it comes to playoff football. So go ahead and run this last one here, where you'll just see where they're running it off, and there's just opportunity of one-on-one on the outside. What does Eric DeCosta look in the offseason? He sees all of this. He sees what's going on. He sees how these guys are being effective. Go ahead and run it again. I need a back, whether it be that Ty Johnson look, whether it be that Cook look where they're just running up the middle. Oh, wait a minute. let me go ahead and give my boy King Henry. King Henry, what we saw from him when he was with the Tennessee Titans, really, I think, established why Eric DeCosta thought it was necessary to kind of reestablish a dominant run threat for Lamar Jackson and that top Monken offense.
Before we get into that thing, Q, because you're right, we saw that the Chiefs were saying, hey, we're going to keep coming after you guys, but Buffalo's going, hey, we don't care if we get stopped at the for a loss of a yard, we get one, maybe two. A lot of those runs we showed before was the Bills, Kevin, staying committed to the run. And Derrick Henry, it feels like over and over again, and specifically, I think Derrick Henry's had success against almost every single team, but you need an enforcer. Is that a fair way to say, Kev?
Oh, yeah. Enforcer is the right word. And Derrick Henry has had some of his best games and his best cumulative stats against the Chiefs. It's one of the teams that he loves playing against. And he talked about how they're a tough team to play, but he always finds that success. And it's about the run game feeding in and helping your pass game, where if you commit to the run, defenses have to creep up if you do it successfully, and then you can work play action off of that, especially with the Ravens sets they can go super heavy this season and punish teams both on the ground and through the air. And I love that for what the Ravens can do this year.
So let's look at this now, Q, because there's two specific runs here, and we just saw how we saw James Cook bounce it outside, but Derrick Henry, as big as he is, as strong and fast, it's just a little bit different.
Yeah, this is a nice, good single backfield. Not quite the bunch look, but you do see this, what I call a vice look, where it is somewhat of a bunch look. If you had another receiver here, then you would get that bunch. But go ahead and run this play here. Very similar blocking scheme. You're going to get a guy going away. So now all of a sudden you're just presenting a different look. But you're going to run right back into it. Stop, pause it right there. I love the hat on the hat. I love the zone scheme where you're trying to create what we call the theory of expanding angles. When you have that little inside zone where it's like you're just trying to get to that outside pocket and just force an angle, and it allows for Derrick Henry to pick a lane to run through. Go ahead and run that. Pause it again. Once you get Derrick Henry to the second level, past the linebackers, and now he's about to get into that level where the safeties, they're going to have to make a business decision. Am I going to come up and tackle number 22, or pretty much what we're seeing here, go ahead and keep on running it. Nobody touches him, and he's just scot-free into the end zone. Eric DeCosta sitting there with John Harbaugh saying to themselves, we know what we got with Lamar Jackson. We know Todd Monken in his second year is only going to get better. Let's go out in free agency and get a guy like a Derrick Henry where, yes, you talk about that Bills game, they committed to the run. If you commit to the run, Derrick Henry only gets better as the game goes on. Go ahead and keep on seeing how the game goes on. That was a nice off-tackle run. Go ahead and run this big boy.
And Q, this is the other part when we talked about him being an enforcer. We're talking about you can't come in with an arm tackle on Derrick Henry. So you just mentioned how he's able to navigate, reading the zones, and then people making business decisions. This is a combination of everything with this play.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how the line, again, you talk about just what they do. Go ahead and run it there. Nice job, I think, of just firing off. You get the double team. You get the backer or the tackle coming up, trying to seal that edge. You got the receiver sealing this edge, and now you just got this beautiful lane for King Henry to run through. But, oh, my God, coming downhill, you got your Bengals defender, the safety, coming downhill, thinking he's going to go ahead and stop the mountain that is King Henry. Go ahead and run that.
Well, and here's the thing, we're talking about business decisions.
Boom. That's three. That's three tackles that we saw Derrick Henry just make it look like he's running against, a Pop Warner football team. Excellent job by Derrick, number one, as far as his vision. Awesome job by both the receiver as well as the tackle, sealing it. Give him a crease. Give him a lane. And then once he gets into that secondary, once he gets going, bro, I saw him in training camp. He is a very large man. He is two of us. You go ahead and try to say, I'm going to go ahead and stop him coming downhill. Let's see the Chiefs try to do that. As our boy KB just said it perfectly, or KO, excuse me. KO said perfectly, when Derrick Henry went against the Chiefs, I think he averaged over 118 yards or so a game against the Chiefs, which is his career best. Derrick Henry built to play extremely well against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, and the other part here that we didn't even get into is who the quarterback is for the Baltimore Ravens as well. So now you have Lamar Jackson, you got Derrick Henry, and everyone's talked about this already, right? We know the threat Lamar has with his legs, but now pick your poison. And now you have one that's, in this case, usually you think about having the thunder and lightning in the running back department. Well, the fact that the Ravens have that as their quarterback as the lightning and Derrick Henry as the thunder is absolutely terrifying. If you guys like this breakdown here with us, hit that like and subscribe button, and you're going to see a lot more.